Toby, you crazy. Toby, you crazy. Toby, you crazy. Toby, you crazy.
I'm free to be me, it's what you see in my energy. I'm real with myself, I don't conform to society. I'm free to be me, it's the only way for me to stay true to my identity. I'm free to be me, I'm a person of integrity, something that's not recognized in society. I'm free to be me, it's the only way for me. It's the key to my serenity, conform to social norm. I'm doing me, I'm working to become the best version I can be, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Don't you see, it's the recipe to live happily, joyfully, peacefully. I live with myself, I deal with myself, I'm real with myself. Don't worry about nobody else. So don't you see I'm okay with me? It's what you see in my energy. It's not about popularity. Yeah, cause I'm free to be me. It's what you see in my energy. I'm real with myself, I don't conform to society. I'm free to be me, it's the only way for me. It's the key to my serenity. I'm free to be me, I'm a person of integrity, something that's not recognized in society. I'm free to be me, it's the only way for me. It's the key to my serenity. I'm a person of integrity, something that's not recognized in society. I'm free to be me, it's the only way for me to stay true to my identity. I'm free to be me, yeah, cause I'm free to be me, yeah, cause I'm free to be me. Hey, hey, it's the key to my identity. I'm free to be me, it's what you see in my energy. I'm real with myself, I don't compare.
What's going on, you guys? This is your girl Bougiewild, and I'm coming to you live in full effect. I need y'all to be patient with me for 1 minute while I get my camera set up right. What's going on? I see I got some viewers in the room today. Y'all, let me lift this stand as I get started. What's going on, you guys? What's going on? Give me 1 second. All right. This is your girl Bougiewild, and I'm coming to you with another episode of Transparent Table Talk. Transparent Table Talk was created as a platform to allow people to speak from a humble, transparent, and a vulnerable place about life issues that we all go through and we all face, and we don't talk about due to shame and blame. In tonight's episode, I am going to talk about something that we all deal with, that none of us talk about, and it's something that we struggle with, and we don't even realize that we're struggling with it. You hear me? So I am going to entertain y'all tonight. Hopefully, you all can get something from this episode because I am going to speak to y'all from a humble, transparent, and a vulnerable place about it. Tonight's episode is titled People Pleasing. People pleasing. I know the average person would say, I ain't trying to please nobody. I'm going to speak to y'all from a humble, transparent, and vulnerable place because we deal with it, and it's something that we don't talk about enough. It's something that we deal with in silence and we don't talk about enough. So let me ask you, are you that person? Are you that person who likes to bring joy, that likes to bring joy, who the need to make people happy? Because I know I was, and I know because I'm full of joy. I'm full of joy. I am that person that has that need to make other people feel happy. I love to make people feel happy. I realize that's the reason why I was in the venue business, because when I was throwing those parties, I loved those moments. Everybody was happy. People was bringing food in. People were blowing up balloons. People would bring the cake in. People were having a good time. So, hey, Miss Free. So I love to make people happy. So are you one of, can you relate? Are you one of those people who like to make people happy? Another thing that people pleasers do is that person who feel like the need that they have to bring joy. It's like people pleasers are the person who like to bring joy. We like to bring joy in the room. We like to be happy. We like to bring that energy in the space, and we like to bring joy. So think about that. Are you that person who likes to bring joy? And because we all have the light in us, we all have the light in us. It's just a desire that we have when we are happy people. It ends up that it becomes a burden, because I've discovered that, it's like you're suffering with being a people's pleaser. So I'm going to go over some things tonight that we go through as being people pleasers. And like I said, I'm talking to y'all from a humble, transparent, and vulnerable place. I'm not talking about nobody. I'm talking about me. I can speak about what I've been through, because I thank God for being able to be delivered from the world. I'm delivered from the world. I realize that it's about me. I got to love on me. I got to know me. I got to trust me, and I got to be me. So, hey, Miss Free, thank you so much for joining me. So tonight we're gonna go over these things that people pleasers do. Hopefully, y'all can learn something from this, and know that you're not alone, and know that you don't have to be the one that's always trying to make everybody happy. You don't have to be the peacemaker. You don't have to be the one suffering in silence. You don't have to be the one that's crying with tears on the outside with the smile on the outside. I mean, tears on the inside with the smile on the outside. So, one thing that people pleasers do, and I'm talking about myself, is we try to do right by everybody. People pleasers, even when people do us wrong, we try to do right by everybody. We, like, regardless, we do the right thing. Like, as people pleasers, we suffer so much. We suffer so much because we want to do right by people. We are people of character. We are people of integrity. We are people that think about others people's feelings before we think about our own. Are you that type of person? Do you find yourself like, man, why they don't think about me the way I think about them? Do you find yourself saying that? Do you find yourself saying, man, there's no way I would have did them like that? It's like you always trying to do right by people, regardless. My cousin told me, and she had to tell me this for a lot of years. She was like, meet you, because she got me meet you. Everybody don't think like you. I'm trying to find this lip chubby, y'all. And it took me a long time to realize, you know what, cuz you right. Everybody don't think like me. Let me put me some lip chip on y'all, because my lips dry. And it's cold outside. So I had to realize that I was always doing right by people, expecting people to treat me the same the way I treated them. But I had to realize in this cruel world that everybody don't think like me. Everybody don't think like me. Everybody's not going to treat me the way I treat them. And I got my feelings hurt a lot of years expecting people to pour into me what I was poured into them, being a people pleaser. Like I said, I know the average person won't sit on social media and say, I was a people pleaser. I was. I can speak about it. I thank God that I'm delivered from it now. But I was a people's pleaser. That's something I did, always doing right by people, regardless of how they treat me. I'm gonna get my blessing. Sitting over here crying in the inside. I'm gonna get my blessing, trying to please people, looking for validation on the outside. Like I just went out in the world to bring joy to other people, regardless of how I felt. So if that's one of the things that I went through as being a people pleaser, is always doing right by people, regardless of how they treated me. Another thing that I did as a people pleaser was not speaking my mind. Now, those of you all know me, y'all know I didn't like to speak my mind because I didn't know how to deal with my emotions. And I was that type of person that when you hurt my feelings, I would cry and I would get upset and I would be a Tasmanian devil when you hurt my feelings. So I would suppress my feelings and I wouldn't speak my mind. I would go behind people's back and talk about people. I would call my cousin, call my sister, girl, you know what she did, you know what she did, and not speaking my mind. And what it was doing was it was making me hold resentment in my spirit. It was making me hold resentment in my spirit um as to what I was going through and not expressing myself, because the Bible said we're supposed to keep a clean heart. And, not speaking my mind was actually hurting me internally. So as a people's pleaser, one thing that I was doing was not speaking my mind. Another thing I was doing as a people's pleaser is not saying no. Not saying no. Like, people would ask me to do things, and when I was tired or if I didn't have it, I made sacrifices just to be there for people. You know, um, Being there for people had me not being able to say no. Not being able to say no. Not being able to say no was a thing that I dealt with a long time, because it was like, I want to bring joy to people. I want people to be happy. I want people to know that I'm going to be there for them. But what happened was, being a people pleaser, I was always pouring into other people's cup, but nobody was pouring into mine. And I found myself crying a lot of times and just on my knees praying to God, like, Lord, I'm always there for people. Like, when I look around, when I need somebody, they weren't there for me. Like, I was one of those people. If you had an event, if you had something going on, if you had to move, if you had an event, whatever you had going on, I took it on like it was mine. Like, I was one of those people that was in there 200%. I'm trying to figure out ways to make it easier, whether it was money, whether it was time, whether it was me lifting. I used to just give myself. And what I was doing was I was expecting for other people to do and pour back into me what I was pouring into them, to only realize and discover that the reality is, if a person is not like-minded, you're going to continue to pour into them, and they're not going to pour into you, and because they don't have anything to give you. And when you're being a people pleaser, it's like you just don't know how to say no. Um, yeah, not saying no. Not saying no is one of those things that um have us suffering in silence. Not saying no is an attribute of being a people pleaser. It's like you fear rejection because you don't want to hurt somebody else's feelings. When you are a people pleaser, you will sit up and you will be uncomfortable. You will be sick, hurt, whatever. But because you don't want that next person to feel bad, you will sit up and do something knowing that it's making you feel uncomfortable, knowing that you're having a spiritual war internally in your body, in your mind, in your spirit. But because you're dealing with this whole people pleasing, you won't even say no. And let me just say this. The people pleasing stems from us being conditioned that we got to make sure everybody else is okay, and that's how we get our blessing, and that's how life is going. You reap what you sow. You reap what you sow is how you speak on yourself. It's not about what you're doing for anybody else. You ain't getting your blessings making sure somebody else is okay, and you sitting up giving your all, and you sitting up suffering in silence because you feel like you got to do what you got to do for the next person because you can't say no. You know what I mean? So that's an attribute of a people's pleaser. Another attribute as a people's pleaser, because I'm speaking to y'all from a humble, transparent, and vulnerable place because I used to be this. Okay, so that's where I'm speaking from. I'm telling y'all, dealing with feelings of sadness because how you allow people to treat you. If you're a people's pleaser in silence, in loneliness, you're dealing with feelings of sadness because how you allow people to treat you. We live in a society where courageous conversations are not had. People say they real, but as soon as you want to sit down and have an intellectual conversation and address a concern or an offense, people want to start screaming and hollering and cursing and acting like you're the problem. No, you're not the problem. You have a right to speak about if something offends you. The Bible said you're supposed to tell a man if he offends you. You don't have to suppress how you feel because you are afraid of how a person is going to respond. I'm speaking about this because I did it for years. We want to say something, but we don't want to start an argument. If you expressing yourself starts an argument, it's not because you're the problem. They are the problem. They don't want to address the issue, or they may be emotionally immature. Everybody that is an adult is not emotionally mature enough to sit down and have a courageous conversation. A courageous conversation is when you can sit there and you can listen to a person express themselves because they are telling you that they're either disappointed, they're sad, their feelings are hurt, or they're angry. And if you are an intelligent person and that person care about you, they will sit there and allow you to express yourself rather than you allowing that energy to build up in the inside and be all a combustion, and you have an anxiety and fear, doubt, and chaos in your spirit, and as a result you're feeling sad because of how you letting people treat you. I know, and I'm speaking about this because I've been through it, and y'all know I be having conversations that I wish somebody would have had with me. So dealing with feelings of sadness because of how you allow people to treat you, you're dealing with people pleasing. Okay, another thing I did dealing with people pleasing is staying around people who make me feel uncomfortable. Let me tell y'all something. It's what I discovered. We are balls of energy. We moving on to staying around people who make us feel uncomfortable. Staying around people who make you feel uncomfortable. Okay, we're nothing but balls of energy. We have to trust our energy. We call it vibe. We call it the mood, the energy off. Trust your energy. Don't stay around nobody that make you feel uncomfortable. I don't care who it is. I did it for years. You hear me? I did it for years. People throwing shots at me, making little comments, and making me feel uncomfortable, looking at you crazy, and their actions does not line up with their words. You don't have to stay around people who make you feel uncomfortable. You have a right, because at the end of the day, you got to look at the man in the mirror. You got to deal with self. You got to put yourself first. You got to teach people how to treat you. You hear me? Like, the reality is, when you are a person who like to bring joy to people, when you are a person who have that happy spirit, we tend to deal with so much because we that light. It's like we be that light that shine, and we want to come in the room, and we want everybody to be happy, and we want everybody around us happy. But the reality is, we live in a society where everybody's not happy. And you got a lot of people wearing masks. And you got a lot of people who can't keep it real about what they go through and they hide it. So when you can be real about what you go through and real about who you are and you choosing to be happy, they want to dim your light. So staying around people who makes you feel uncomfortable, that is something that we have to recognize, that we don't have to do that. We don't have to please people. It's okay to let them know, I don't like you. Or if you feel like there's a woman that I recently met, and the lady, I'm telling y'all, I know the lady does not like me. And I realize everybody can't deal with me. I realize that. I realize, and I've accepted, either you're gonna like me or you're not, because I'm loud, I'm outspoken, I have a lot of energy, and some people just be feeling like, oh, you extra, you be doing too much. And this is one lady that I recently met is out here networking, and I can just see how she look at me. So I stay clear of the lady, because I said she got one more time to come up in my face and be like, "Hey, Yolanda, I'm gonna tell her, girl, I know you don't like me. Like, for real, you don't like me." And I can see that she doesn't like me. It's like when I come in the room, I can see I irritate her spirit. Like, she just be irritated. We see each other at the gym, and I'm at the gym, y'all. I be crunk at the gym. Like, everybody know me at the gym because I be crunk. And some women are conservative and they don't feel like a woman should be loud and get attention like I get attention. Like, I go to the gym and I be crunk. You know what I mean? I be crunk, live and full of it. And I remember when we first met, she knew me from the gym, and I didn't even know her from the gym. And she was like, "You that lady that be at the gym?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's me." She was like, "Yeah." And it was like, you never said anything to me. You never, approached me or anything like that. But she was like, when people start, and that's the next one I'm gonna go on into, when people start taking shots. When people start taking shots at you. Do you all know what shots mean? For those of you all that don't know what shots mean. Shots mean when a person be slick criticizing you, but they do it with a little laugh. Like, girl, you be extra over there. You be live. You know how they be taking shots at you, and then they laugh off it like it's funny. And, but it really spark your spirit, like, it be off, and yeah, a little shady. That little shade, that shade they be throwing that shit, because we people pleasers. We just be like, oh, girl, but we know it make us feel uncomfortable. And I'm just keeping it real. When people taking shots, that's something you got to recognize, and you got to realize that you don't have to deal with people taking shots at you. Like, I'm at that point in my life. You take a shot at me, I'm gonna let you know I see you. I see you, and I know you don't like me, and you just insulted me with a smile on your face, and I'm well aware of that type of behavior. And I am just at that place in my life where I can express myself with individuals and letting them know where I come from and how I see them, because I love myself, and it took me a long time to get here. And that's the reason why I can speak on all the things that I've been through. You know, um, I've been through things that I have allowed in my life to be treated a certain way because I have a happy spirit. Like, I am a Cancer. I am a Cancer, and as a Cancer, we like to make people happy. We are naturally happy people. We are crybabies. We are loving people, and it's just something. In a sense, I feel like at one time I felt like it was a curse. I feel like it was a curse because I had the need to please people. And since I've learned to love myself, the Holy Spirit showed me, said, Yolanda, everything you've been giving to everybody else, give it to yourself. And that's what I've been doing lately, you guys. I've been giving to myself. And so I'm able to speak about what I've been through because I'm having conversations that I wish somebody would have had with me as an older woman. I have no shame and I bear no blame. And I can speak to you all from a humble, transparent, and a vulnerable place about my life because I look at my life as using it as an example to help people. I'm not gonna allow the darkness of the world to stop me from helping people. I just know how to channel it now. I know to speak on things that society wouldn't dare to talk about and bring to your attention so others can be aware through my own life experiences how to love yourself, how to know who you are, trust yourself, and you don't have to tolerate the need to fit in or to feel like you will be rejected. Believe me, when I stepped out and started loving myself, I can be honest and I be transparent about it. I stopped messing with everybody because I tell people I became a mom at 15 years old. All I knew to do was to take care of other people. All I knew to do was to make sure that everybody else was okay. And I walked away from all of my friends. I did. I loved them dearly, but I had unhealthy relationships. They were unhealthy when I was going through my healing phase. I was talking to them about it. I bought books like, you guys, this can't continue, because I remember when I was one the same way, when I was hurt, when I was out here in the world allowing people to treat me any kind of way, when I was out here in the world seeking validation, fear of rejection, always feeling the need that I needed somebody around me. Like, I'm looking at a flight right now because there's something going on in LA next month that I'm going to do for my business to learn. And I realized, you know what, Yolanda, you got to do this by yourself because you can't wait on anybody else to do things with you. You have to be able to go out here in this world by yourself and create the life you want. So, I'm just sharing with you all that the things that we do, like shrinking ourselves, shrinking yourself to keep people around you. A lot of us, I did shrinking myself to keep people around me because I like to do certain things. I like to eat certain food. I like to go certain places. And when the people around you can't do it, you feel like, oh, because you want to keep them around you, you have to shrink yourself, and they start criticizing you because of how you like to do things, because you shifted ahead. And it's nothing wrong with growing. It's nothing wrong with shifting into your greatness. And there are so many of us, and I'm including myself, I did it. People please, and I would shrink myself just to feel the need to keep people around me. But since I've stepped out, you guys, and I've been speaking, send like-minded people. Like today, I went to a blues benefit down at Alfred's today, midday, with some ladies, and they are on my level. They are on my level. Like, I had to realize I'm a diverse person. Like, I don't have to just be around, a certain group of environment. I can go around any environment and still be myself. And I just refuse to allow anybody to shrink me. And I did. I was shrinking myself to keep people around me because frankly we be conditioned. Um that's some of the things that I went through as people pleasing. I don't know if it helped, if you all can relate. Everybody can't speak from a humble, transparent, and vulnerable place, and you're not expected. Are there any things that I left off that I can address that people pleasing? Impressive on the outside, but oppressed behind closed doors. Yeah, come out on the outside like we're happy. Hey, girl, you good? You good? But we be oppressed behind closed door, talking about talking about your friends, talking about the people you be around. If you got to talk about your group of people that you be around behind their back, if you sitting up gossiping after you done had a girls' night out, or you done went on a trip with your friends, or you done been on the phone with your friend, or if you doing all of that after, you impressive on the outside but oppressed behind closed doors. You don't. It's okay. It's okay. I told one of my friends, I was like, I've outgrown you. Like, for real. I mean, the stuff you like to talk about, the things you like to do, I don't do anymore. And I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. But I always love you. But just I'm just not there anymore. So I'm not going to. I'm definitely not gonna shrink to be around you. So, and you ain't trying to come up to my level. So we just gotta part ways. You hear me? I love her dearly. You know what I'm saying? But you just have to realize that You don't have to please people. The only person you got to please is the man in the mirror. You hear me? The only person you got to please and make sure you okay is the man in the mirror. And that is making sure you okay mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Don't you see? It's the recipe to live happily, joyfully. Look, because I tell people I'm free to be me. Is what you see in my energy. I'm real with myself. I don't conform to society. For real, I'm free to be me. I don't conform to social norm. I'm doing me. I'm working to become the best version I can be physically, emotionally, spiritually. Don't you see it's the recipe to live happily, joyfully, peacefully? I live with myself. I deal with myself. I'm real with myself. Don't worry about nobody else. So don't you see I'm okay with me? It's what you see in my energy. It's not about popularity. Yay. Because I'm free to be me for real. I'm telling you, when you're free to be yourself and you realize that you know what? Everything I've been doing to make sure everybody else is okay, everything I've been doing to tolerate the world, everything I've been doing to bring joy to other people, I need to do this for myself. So do not conform to the patterns of the world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, baby. You hear me? So I just come to you all to speak from a humble, transparent, and a vulnerable place on Transparent Table Talk. Just wanted to talk to you all tonight and let you all know that you are not alone and you have a right to wake up from it. You have a right to um, become the best version of yourself. Don't allow people pleasing to cause you to suffer. Don't allow that. Don't allow people pleasing to cause you to suffer. Do y'all have any comments y'all would like to add on this people pleasing? Am I the only one that suffered from people pleasing? Am I the only person that liked to bring joy to people? And you know what I did was I made it into my living. Like I love to serve. As a IRS representative, I'm able to represent my clients before the IRS in their best interest. I'm able to serve in a capacity. Like a couple weeks ago, I went did a party down in Batesville. I love doing that, but I get paid to do it now. So it didn't change me from loving to serve, but I just realized it's a gift that I have, and I now do it as a business rather than just going around pleasing people. I didn't know what I was dealing with. Like, well, I got to always try to make somebody happy, but you don't. You don't have to make somebody happy. Recognize what your gifts are. Recognize what your gifts are and go out here in the world and make them happen. You hear me? That's what we can do with people. Hey, Nyla. Hey, Claudette. Hey, Free. Hey, Keisha. Thank you all so much for joining in tonight. Are there any other comments which y'all like me to discuss? Any other topics about this whole people pleasing? Did I leave something out that we do when we be people pleasing? Am I the only one can admit that you suffer with? I suffered. Look, let me the alcohol anonymous. Hi, my name is Yolanda, and I am a people pleaser. Look, like I'm in the AA meeting. Look, for real. Am I the only one that suffer with people pleasing? For real, real talk. But I'm coming to you all today from a humble, transparent, and a vulnerable place to talk about we don't have to suffer with people pleasing. So you guys stay tuned. You know, Transparent Table Talk does air on Tuesdays and Thursday nights. I am so excited about this show. This show does bring real life issues to the table for us to talk about them. It does show us that we all go through the same stuff. We all go through the same stuff. You don't have to suffer in silence. You don't have to suffer in silence. I've been running my mouth for 30 minutes. Y'all need some water. See, I keep it real. I love water. I love water, y'all, for real. So, if there are any topics that you would like to discuss, I can admit I'm also a people pleaser too. Yes, we are. It is something that we struggle with, but I'm telling you, It's something I had to deal with. It's something I've had to change about myself. I am aware of it now. Like, I got tired of getting my feelings hurt. For real. I got tired of getting my feelings hurt. So that's the reason why the Holy Spirit said, Yolanda, talk about people being people pleasers. Because we out there. Hi, my name is Yolanda, and I'm a people pleaser. Yeah, I do. I like to bring joy to people. That's why I like cooking and feeding people. I like having parties. Which is more important now is pleasing myself. Because if I can't be okay, I can't be okay for nobody else. I like that question. If I'm not okay with myself, I can't be okay for anybody else. So it starts with me. Even with my kids, like, I have to be okay with myself. And a lot of us, we be in relationships with people. We feel like we got to put people first in our relationships. No, you got to put yourself first. Because if you're not okay with yourself, you're not going to be okay with for anybody else. That was a great, great question. Anybody else got any other questions like that? You have to, because if my cup is not full, how can I pour in somebody else's cup? If I'm not okay with myself, like, what am I really giving you? If I'm not making myself okay, am I really giving you some goodness? I can, because I'm gonna be resenting, like, oh, I had to do that for Shaquita. I had to do that, man. I had to do that for Shaquita. You're gonna be mad. You're gonna be frustrated. When you putting other people before yourself, you're frustrated and irritated and aggravated and full of chaos and discord and conflict in your own spirit. That was a great question. Any other questions? Let's talk about this people pleasing, because I know I ain't the only one that done suffer with people pleasing. Am I really the only one? Or am I the only one that can admit it? Where y'all at? Am I the only one can admit about people pleasing? Huh? Hey, y'all. To what extent do I care about pleasing people? Well, I like to serve. And what I have done is I realized that I like to bring joy to people. So that's the reason why my business is a service-based business. As an enroll agent, I have to represent people before the Internal Revenue Service. I have to provide them a service. And so it's my goal to make sure that I take care of my clients. I take care of my clients to the fullest extent. As a party planner, I have to make sure that my clients are satisfied. And so I work hard to make sure that I bring joy to my clients. Um, Hey, Tamisha, I make sure that I bring joy to my clients. So what I've done is I realized who I am, and the reason why I was suffering with being a people pleaser is because I love to serve. I love to bring joy to people. So that's the reason why I was suffering with being a people pleaser. I've identified why I did it. I've identified why I always like to do people right. I identified why I dealt with the feeling of wanting to bring joy to people. I've identified why I like to be around happy people and be the person, the happy person, is because I like to be in service. Like, I'm a host. Like, that's what I am. When I realize what I am, I'm a host. I am a coordinator. I love to serve. So that was a great question. What extent I do care about pleasing people when I'm working in that capacity. When I'm working in that capacity, that's what I aim to do. I aim to please. Like, when I did Miss Bobo's 25th birthday party down in Batesville, I got Tamisha on here. When I hosted at her venue, I aim to please. So that's when I'm in my people pleasing capacity. I still do it because that's who I am. But I realize I do it as a service now. I don't just do it to seek validation or to fit in. See, whatever your gift is, your gift will make room for you. You hear me? So, yeah. That was a great question, though. Any other questions about people pleasing? Like, to do a recap, are you that person that's always bringing joy to folks? always have the need to bring happiness to people, trying to do the right thing by people. The person has the need to make other people happy. The person who like to bring joy, always doing the right by people regardless of how they make you feel and how they treat you. Not speaking your mind, are you that person? Not saying no, are you that person? Dealing with feelings of sadness because of how you allow people to treat you, are you that person? Impressive on the outside but oppressed behind closed doors, staying around people who make you feel uncomfortable, always allowing people to take shots. You know, people with that criticism, and you not saying nothing, going behind their back talking about them instead of telling them to their face, I see you. Because I'm at that place now, I see you. And I'm going to let you know, I'm not staying around shrinking yourself to keep people around you. Like, for real, I went through all of these things, and I can speak about it from a humble, transparent, and vulnerable place. And I know that there are a lot of people out here suffering with people pleasing. So y'all can put me on the cross. Y'all can criticize me. Y'all can condemn me. Y'all can call me crazy. Y'all don't care what y'all call me because I know who I am. I know it took me some time to heal, and I'm able to speak about what I went through because it did take some time to heal. Anybody else got any questions about people pleasing? Because this is a thing that we deal with, and it's a topic that nobody don't want to talk about or nobody don't want to admit to. Y'all know with people pleasing, when we be comparing, when we out here in this rat race trying to impress somebody that don't even like us. We be, a lot of us when we young, we be out with folks, and a lot of old fools still doing it, out with people that don't even like them. You hear me? What is the satisfaction in pleasing people? The joy. Like to I like to bring joy to people. I like when I did Miss Bobo party and the smile on her face and to see she enjoyed the service I provided. The food, everybody was like, "Oh my God, your food's so good." Oh my God. Yeah, somebody calling my phone. I apologize. I got to start putting my phone on airplane mode because some people don't see that when you decline the call, that means you're not answering the phone. And they keep calling back. But yeah, I do find satisfaction in when I'm in a serving capacity. Like, I like to serve. I'm a host. Bougiewild. I like to entertain. I like to cook. Y'all, they working on my house. I can't wait till my house finish because I am going to cook a feast and invite all my loved ones. Invite all my loved ones. I hadn't did anything in my house in a while. I've been gone. So I was like, Lord, God told me He gave me this big old house so I can feed people and have people over, and that's what I'm gonna do with it. I feel like me being gone all the time. That's why my house flooded. So I got to get back to being at home and giving some love and doing what I was doing because I love feeding people. I do. I love to cook and feed. Like, I just love to do that. I just love to do it, but I like to work and do it. So yes, it will be a look. You're gonna have to make a donation to participate because I ain't pleasing nobody. If you can't make no donation, when I get ready to cook, and everybody know when I cook, when I lay it out, baby, I lay it out. If you can't make no donation, then you don't want to be a part of it. Because I ain't pleasing nobody. You hear me? I'm going to make it plain for you. So what other question do you all have? Because am I the only person that can acknowledge that they was a people pleaser? For real. Am I the only person that can acknowledge that? Would you ever say yes to a friend and cancel your own plans just because you are afraid of upsetting them? Um, no. I couldn't say I haven't done that in my life. I can't say that's not something I've done, but at this point in my life, I got to put myself first. Like, my friend birthday party, Danielle, she know I love her dearly. Her birthday party was when was Danielle's birthday party? The weekend I had what weekend was that? January the 14th. January 14th. I had to go down to basement. I had to set up decorations. I had to cook the food, I served the food, and I hosted the party. My friend's party was the same night. In my mind, I was like, I'm going to this party because it was her birthday and I wanted to be there because I was fine. Baby, I sat in that car. I drove back an hour. By the time I got out the car, I was stiff. I couldn't move. I had to stop and get some gas. Baby, I couldn't move. And I was like, oh my God. So, in response to your question, would I ever say yes to a friend and cancel? Yeah, I had to cancel because my body wouldn't let me do it. Like I could have risked having a wreck. I could have risked, I would have walked up in the party just like cramped up. So I realized from experience that I have to put myself first. And if someone love you, they'll understand that, you have to put yourself first because if you don't love yourself, how can you be good for somebody else? If you don't make sure that you are okay, how can you be good for somebody else? That was a great question. Any other questions? Because I like this. Let's talk about people pleasing. Let's talk about those things that we do when we're pleasing people, those situations. Let's talk about that. Thank you, Danielle. Thank you. Yeah, cause baby, let me tell you something. Baby, by the time you set up a party, break it down, load that stuff up, baby. Ooh, like she said, she understand. But I said, look, I gotta take you out. We need to celebrate. Because I do believe in celebrating my friends. I do believe in being there for my friends. And let me just tell y'all something. Danielle Gregory, baby, from the beginning, she poured in me. So I can't do nothing but pour back in her. And that's what I tell her. I said, I owe you the same energy that you give me. I have to give it to her. Period. Period. You hear me? Like, if you can't match my energy, I don't want you around me. And I keep it real because I'm a good person. I'm a good person. I like to bring joy to people. I like to bring happiness. So, we as people pleasers, we got to realize, baby, we the chosen ones. We good people. And I said, I'm a good person. And if a person can't match my energy, I don't want you around me. And I'm just going to keep it real. That's just where I'm at now because I love me. It took me a long time to get here. And I keep it real, and I can speak from a humble, transparent, and a vulnerable place. I am not ashamed to say I was a people pleaser because I know now I like to serve people. I'm in the service industry. That's how I make my money. You hear me? For real. Any other questions? Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this people pleasing because we're going to identify this. Yes, ma'am. We have to keep it real. Hey, Miss Linda. Yes, ma'am. Yes, we will. I'm excited. Do you care about what people say about you? No. No, 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 no. Let me tell y'all something. They gonna talk about you whether you're good, bad, or ugly. They gonna talk about you. Because the reality is, half of us don't even like ourselves, and I used to be one. See, the realness that I bring to y'all on this social media is because I'm being the change that I wish to see. As an older woman, I'm 45 years old. Y'all know I be telling y'all that because I don't have no shame about my age. I know a lot of women don't like to tell people how old they are, but I don't mind because I look good. I know I look good. So anyway, I had a conversation that I wish somebody would have had with me because I said a lot of stuff I went through. If I would have had an older, wise woman to sit me down like I am and talk to me when I was 20, baby, it was a whole lot of stuff I wouldn't have did or went through because I listened to people. That's the reason why I done got where I'm at today. Because I listen to people. For real. So, if, I stopped caring a long time, baby. Going out here in the world on your own at 15 years old, you can't worry about what people say about you. You just can't worry about what people say. You'll be crazy. I tell my children, they're going to talk about you. They're going to find something to talk about you. So, let them talk. Because 9 times out of 10, if you talking about me, you don't like yourself. You chaotic. You got something in your spirit that you don't like about yourself if you're sitting up talking about me. So no, I don't care about what people say about me because if people talk about people, Small minds talk about people. Large minds talk about ideas. Baby, let's talk about some ideas and let's talk about some money. And you can say what you want to say. I need some money because I like money and I like to spend money. So I need some money. I make money. Money don't make me. Hey y'all, if you need your taxes done, y'all need to holler at your girl because I am an enroll agent. I'm for real, tax preparer. What I put on your return, I can support and get you a refund without getting you in trouble because I know how to support. It's the knowledge, it's applying the tax law. You hear me? Hey, Miss Linda. Hey, Miss Angela. Any other thing y'all want to talk about? Yes. But yeah, is there any other thing y'all want to discuss? Is there anything else y'all want to discuss about this people pleasing? Because let's go and address this thing today so people know what it is. Look at Harmony all in my screen. I just told him to stay out my screen. She came and got right in it. See what I have to deal with. See what I have to deal with. But yeah, for real. People please. Have you ever dealt with people pleasing, Harmony?
I'm an actress, of course
Okay, but that's what you like to do for a living. I'm saying outside of being an actress.
I do. Yeah. Some people would say just to make the situation better. You know.
You got to come over here and talk. You got to talk that way.
Some people say like to make the situation better. You know, just go along. You know, just act like apologize, or like calm down, or pretend like you don't really have any animosity towards the situation when you do. I'm not that type of person. I'm not about to hold my tongue when like I'm upset about something. So if a person's like, Harmony, just let it go, you know what I mean? Just let it go. It's not the big of a deal. Or like, you see they're over there and they're the ones being rude and stuff like that. So just don't give them anything. Like I'm not gonna give them type of thing, but when they come around me, I'm not about to be nice to you. I'm not about to be that type of like people pleaser, to where like you come back around me and I'm supposed to be nice to you. That's not okay because you've already been rude to me in the past. So what am I about to act fake to you in the present when I don't really like you? That's a form of people pleasing me.
Right, and I like that. Like you said, when somebody's been mean to you and they made it obvious that they don't like you or they have wronged you, then you don't owe to be nice to them. And like they said, be cordial. Now, don't come around me. You don't like me. I'm not gonna be cordial. I'm not gonna give you none of my energy. I want you to know you don't like me, and I don't like you either. Period. Stay away from me. That was a good example, Harmony. You have to please yourself. You have to please yourself before you please anybody else. And I am on live. We have been conditioned. I am on live. We have been conditioned to please other people without pleasing ourselves. So we have been conditioned to be walking around with resentment and bitterness and being double minded, a smile on our face, but really being oppressed behind closed doors. Now I'm speaking the real. And if I got a problem with you, I'm gonna say something to you. People say, yeah, wait, that started an argument. No, it doesn't. It's not my fault that you're not intelligent enough to have a conversation. Because we should be able to talk about whatever we need to discuss without people screaming and hollering and cursing and wanting to fight. No, let's discuss about what it really is. Oh, that brings up a point. If you got a situation that you discussing with somebody and you addressing a particular specific topic and they go left field and start talking about you did this and deflecting and start telling you about yourself and all at the blue topic, all off topic, They had a problem with you in the first place. And the fact that you done finally said something to them, now they feel to really tell you about how they feel about you. You know how they say that friend that you have one misunderstanding, they go all off and they really tell you how they feel about you. Y'all better watch them kind of folk. Y'all better watch them kind, baby. Them people, because you ain't got to please nobody. And I'm keeping it real. I ain't pleasing nobody. I done did it. I stopped messing with everybody. You ain't got to do nothing but cross me one time now. I ain't dealing with you. Not at all. And you gonna know it. You going to know it. You can call me crazy. You can call me loud. You can call me extra. You can say I'm doing too much, whatever. I'm going to express myself because I don't please people no more. What's that in my face? I don't please people. I'm expressing myself because all that stuff be in your spirit and stuff, and you be double-minded and be mad. That's why a lot of people be sick. A lot of people be sick, suppressing how they truly feel and what they truly going through. I ain't gonna lie about how I feel. I'm gonna express myself. The devil is a lie. The devil is a lie. This is a natural high. Hey, for real. So on this episode of People Pleasing, I hope you all learned something from it. I hope you all are there any other questions? Are there any other topics? Or things that y'all want to talk about? Because it's true. We do be out here people pleasing. But you don't have to. I did it. But I'm not anymore. For real. Anything else y'all want to talk about? Y'all know this transparent table talk. Y'all know this is a table where you can talk about life from a humble, transparent, and a vulnerable place. Because I have no shame and I bear no blame. I'm having conversations that I wish somebody would have had with me. Y'all stay tuned. Transparent Table Talk is creating the legacy. The whole purpose is to show people that we all go through the same thing, that we don't have to suffer in silence. You hear me? We can bring it to Transparent Table Talk. Thank you all so much for tuning in tonight. Y'all watch the video. Y'all make sure y'all go check out Bougiewild.com. I do have some new shirts that's released. Watch the video. Feel free. Check out the things, the advertisement. Check out Bougiewild.com. Make sure y'all are following me on Instagram and Facebook. And thank you all again for tuning in. This is your girl Bougiewild, and I'm out.
Bougiewild, 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 Bougiewild. I said universe.